Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to my weekend live. My name is Francisca. If you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel under Franciscaepale, I would urge you that you should like, share, and comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to talk about do not get scared of this group of people. You're going to wonder, what am I referring to? Which group of people am I referring to? The group of people I am referring to are the law enforcement. And I'll talk about three of them. The first one I'll talk about is Border Patrol. When you go to the borders, you will meet the Border Patrol. I have worked very closely with Border Patrol, and there's no need to be scared of them. I used to be a French interpreter, an accredited community French interpreter for 10 years. Well, I still do it, but not as frequently as I used to do. One day at around 1 a.m., I got a phone call, and they said, "This is Border Patrol. Is this Franciscaepale?" I said, "Yes. We will need your services as an interpreter right now. Or can we call you back in 20 minutes? Oh yeah, they said that we're going to call you in 20 minutes time. So can you take the call? Because we have gone down the list and everybody is asleep. I took the call. This sounded urgent, so I had to take it. If they called me at 1 a.m. So in 20 minutes time, I was ready with my notepad and my pen, ready to go. So they called me back. The officer introduced himself. He gave me his name and his badge number so that I get paid. So I had to work with a lady, French-speaking lady, who was fleeing domestic abuse. They interrogated her for 3 hours. Yes. So I worked with Border Patrol. Nothing happened. I got paid. These people wear uniforms. Sometimes they could be intimidating, but you don't have to fear them. So that's one example of how I worked with Border Patrol, and I was okay. The second law enforcement people I will talk about is immigration. You meet immigration officers when you enter a country or when you leave. When I go cross-border shopping, I don't have any issues with them. But one day I inquired from one immigration officer. I said, "Officer, I have an inquiry." She said, "How may I assist you?" One day I went to America and I bought a certain amount of goods. The other day, and they charged me tax. The other day, I also bought, and I bought more, and they did not charge me tax. So how do you explain that? She said, "It depends on the mood of the officer." All right, so it came from the source's own mouth, from the horse's own mouth. Depends on the mood of the officer. And one day, I tried to make an immigration officer laugh because they're so stern and serious. That's the nature of their job, and she did laugh. I went to China to teach English as a second language. For those of you who do not know me, I am a former educator who has taught ESL, English as a second language, and French for over 20 years in the United States, in Canada, and China. I am a speaker with a DTM designation, a real estate investor, and a wealth creator with the Mind Assistance Program, and the author of 4 books. One day when I came back from China, I landed at Pearson Airport in Toronto. The immigration officer opened my passport and she said, "Oh, I see that you were in China for 1 year. Are you here on vacation?" And then I said no. Then she asked me, "What were you doing in China?" I said that I was teaching ESL. And I said, "Officer, listen to me. My 2 legs are here on Canadian soil. I am here to stay. This is not a vacation. I've come back home." So she said, Interesting. So when you were in China, were your two legs not on Chinese soil? I said, no, officer. One was in China and one was in Canada. They were wobbling. The immigration officer laughed so loudly that all the immigration officers, they all turned and looked at me as if to say, what did you say for her to laugh so loud? People get scared of immigration. Why are you getting scared? If you're not a criminal, you should not get scared. They're just wearing a uniform. They're just doing their job. So you see, I broke the ice with this immigration officer and she laughed. And I told her, I've never seen an immigration officer laugh. She said, yes, we're not supposed to laugh, but I couldn't contain myself. Your joke was so funny. So you see, it was easy. The third person I'm gonna talk about that people get scared and you're not supposed to be scared are the police officers. Police officers, immigration officers, and border patrol or law enforcement officers are there to serve, to protect, and to support. I know sometimes police officers have gone overboard and done things that they were not supposed to. Yes, mistakes have happened. But on the whole, you don't need to be scared of them if you are not a criminal. All right? So, with police now, when I was working as an interpreter, one Sunday afternoon around 1 p.m., I got a phone call. Is this Franciscaepale? I said, yes, this is Officer blah, blah, blah. We want you at the police station in downtown Toronto, and they gave me the location as soon as possible. And I said, officer, I'm cooking. How I can get downtown in an hour and a half? They said, no, we want you there ASAP right now. I said, officer, how am I going to make it downtown ASAP? They said, don't worry. Please provide us with your address and we'll send a police officer to come and get you. So the police officer came in civilian clothes. It means they did not wear a police uniform, and the car was not a police car. When he pulled up in the driveway, I asked him, is your name so and so? He said yes. Then I asked him, do you have any ID? And he pulled out his police badge. He said, what you did was very good. So we had a good conversation in the car, and I went downtown and I worked. And the police officers who were working on the case were all in civilian clothes, in regular clothes. When you have a police case and you are in the police station, depending on the kind of case, they usually wear regular clothes so that the clients are not intimidated. So there was a case of a young girl who came from another city. I will not mention the name. And she came to work in Toronto. She came to do her business in Toronto. Unfortunately, the man did not pay her, and the man stole her dog. So that became a police case. For me, I thought it was funny. And they asked her all kinds of questions. So I have worked closely with police in many instances as an accredited community French interpreter. There was also a case where the police officer told me that they would need to audio tape me and videotape me while they are doing the interpretation. Would they allow me to do it? And I said yes. They were happy because they said that they asked other interpreters and the interpreters refused. I think they refused because they are not confident. If you're confident, it's part of the job. So I did it. So in conclusion, I will tell you, do not be scared of police officers, immigration officers, border patrol. They are there to serve, to protect, and to support the community. All right? Don't be scared. All right? Some of them are bad. They are bad and good people in every profession. But on the whole, if you speak to them politely, they're not going to do you anything. They won't bite you. Sometimes I have gone downtown Toronto when I was working as an interpreter. I'll see a police officer who will say, hello, Madam Interpreter, how are you? I said, fine, officer. You see, because I've worked with so many of them, they could recognize me. So please don't get scared of police, don't get scared of immigration, don't get scared of border patrol. Just answer the questions that they ask you politely with confidence. They all have their ego. It's a job where they're full of ego, so don't get on their bad side. If you have any comments, please jot them down below. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, and have a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.